Malawi boy.
Ayo, it's 5 rounds, 5 topics a season. Home of the most controversial opinions. Dropping each round on a Friday. If you're about the top trends, then it's our way. So make sure you subscribe. Believe it or not, the vibe is out here. Whereby the peeps can talk with no fear. Hey, what's the name of the podcast right here? What's happening? This the vibe right here. Pandies be the tribe right here. We about to go live right here. If you're talking about the rounds, then it's 5 right here. What's happening? This the vibe right here. Pandies be the tribe right here. We about to go live right here. If you're talking about the rounds, then it's 5 right here. Hey, yo, hit the like button. You know I'll be checking.
What's happening, good people? What's happening? It'd be good if I remove this. Here we go. What's happening, good people? Welcome to 5 Rounds. I am One Tali, the one and only. You got me today, guys. So the guys couldn't make it, obviously, commitments and that. I do appreciate that it's summer, so people are doing stuff and, you know, keeping busy and stuff like that. But the show must go on, guys. The show must go on. For the first time ever, we are live on Instagram. So we're live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Like I said last time, X is sort of acting up, so it's not really letting you go live anymore. But yeah, we're streaming live on IG, YouTube, and Facebook. That's it. So, guys, quite a controversial topic today, right? I really wanted to talk about this and see what you guys think. I was gonna so this question I couldn't ask in general because I'd rather focus on how where I grew up. But guys, if you're not from Africa, don't worry about it. Okay. This question, you can answer it based on your experiences, how you've seen things and all of that. So the question is, does tribalism keep Africans poor? Does tribalism keep your country poor? You know? And I think a lot of times when we say tribalism, people just think it means, for example, I'm obviously of African descent. I'm from Malawi and my tribe is Lomwe. So you think, oh no, Lomwe tribe. It's not just that. It's just I will actually define it in a minute, right? Now, let me get through the preliminary stuff, right? I want to thank you guys for helping us reach 1,500 subscribers. 1,600 subscribers. What's going on there? You know what I mean? So well done to all you guys for for subscribing. And if you're not subscribed and you're new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Okay, so tribalism, I wanted to define it first before we can talk about it, right? So tribalism, what is it? It's a state of existing as a tribe or a very strong feeling of loyalty to your tribe. So it's a very strong feeling of loyalty to a political or social group so that you support them whatever they do, right? So where I come from, there's a lot of things like, we are separated, people are separated geographically, separated by class, separated by tribe, separated by political views, religion, all these things, right? So my question today is, are these divisions just, contributing to, poverty and people being poor and all these things, So the first question is it a real problem? Are tribes really the reason Africa is struggling? I wouldn't say it's the main reason. I'd say it's part of the reason. You know what I mean? So I would say it's part of the reason, but not the main reason. I think a lot of problems start mentally. I think, if you're thinking a certain way or thinking for a certain group of people, then obviously you're going to try and work for that group. Do you know what I mean? There's a video that I've got that is quite important, right? I know there'll be people in this chat who will think, or people who are watching this who are going to think, I don't think it's it affects people the way you think the way you think it does. So I've come with my opinion, my thoughts on this, and also things that I think are substantial to this topic. But if you guys think, nah, actually, what are you talking about? You're chatting shit. Does it affect anything? Please do let me know. I'm here for that. I'm here for that discussion. If you're joining, welcome, guys. If you like culture, vibes, laughter, and a bit of controversy, this is the podcast. So hang in there. Let me show you what I was talking about.
Which is both the cradle of human progress and a crucible of...
Let's start.
Trump is the definition of standing on business.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Great.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
I will reload this again. Okay, not Trump. We're not trying to listen to Trump. Hold on a sec. When the internet is not interneting in it. Right. I will come back to that. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so it's basically a video. Is it because I watched it twice or something? Right, here we go. Here we go. Apologies, people. Technology is letting me down right now. Right, here we go. I'm going to stop here. I wish I could go back. Yeah, I can go back. I'm going to share the video now because it's ready. Just cover the shot in truth. That's the one. Okay, here we go. There we go. I'm going to unmute that.
Which is both the cradle, the history of Africa, which is both the cradle of human progress and a crucible of conflict, shows us that when we define ourselves narrowly, in opposition to somebody just because they're of a different tribe or race or religion, and we ignore who's a good person or a bad person, are they working hard or not? Are they honest or not? Are they peaceful or violent? When we start making distinctions solely based on status and not what people do, then we're taking a wrong path, and we inevitably suffer in the end. This is why Martin Luther King called on people to be judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And in the same way, people should not be judged by their last name or their religious faith, but by their content of their character and how they behave. But the history of...
Okay. Obviously, somebody's decided to let me know what they're listening to. Jesus. All right, hold up 2 seconds. All right, let me know if you can still hear the noise. I can hear it, but I'll just put something to remove the background noise. Okay, so what Obama said there, right? I think this problem is huge where I come from, right? When one thing that I can tell you is Malawi is split up in 3 regions, so the northern, southern, and northern, central, and southern region, right? So Malawi has never had a president from the northern region, right? And from what I have been told, it is simply because of the, again, it's the geographical split to start with, because the capital has always been in the central and the southern region, right? Secondly, it's the stereotypes. So the implicit bias, as Mr. Drew always says, the stereotypes. Oh, the people from the north, people from the north are known to be educated. They're known to be quite strong with their values and quite swift, so he says Tumbukan. So Bushido Brown says Tumbukan's on top. Yeah, so the people from the north normally are very opinionated, very, and these are the things that are put on names of tribes, like literally this tribe is this tribe is that. So people strike fear, right, in people. So Bashak says, "What do you mean by that?" Sorry, I'm gonna read some of the Instagram comments as well, by the way, while we're doing this. So Lambashak says, "What do you mean by that?" Lomwe as well, fam. Good man, good man. It's an American problem, though. He says. So yeah, like I'm saying, Malawi is split by 3 regions, right? And also the way people look at these regions is different. So, for example, my tribe, I'm Lomwe, so say, "Oh, we talk too much," or "We curse too much," and all these things. And you know, we've spoken about this in one of the videos we did. But going back to that point, that in Malawi, there's never been a president from the north, yet they are known to be educated, well educated, and all of these things. Even to some point of slander, we consider the northerners as foreigners, you know. But that, do you think that would help the progress of a country if we're not using these resources we describe as knowledgeable, stubborn, and whatnot? But there's also a stigma to that. Oh no, you know, there are a lot of other bad things people say about the, you know, the people of the north. So that alone, if they are indeed well educated, right, they have more opportunities in education, or maybe their tribe prioritizes education, then it means we're depriving a country of knowledge. You know, just imagine Greece without Athens. You know, would Greece, you know, would Rome have been what it was, and all these things? So yeah, these things are quite important. So I was also, you know, as I was researching this topic, certain groups of people will have certain interests, right? Not everyone will have the same interests. So I'm well aware of that. So certain groups will have advantages on one side and other groups will have advantages on another. So be it intellectual, economical, and all those things, right? So if, say, for example, the northern side of Malawi is well educated, and then the southern has more of the farming, and the central is geographically placed to trade, right? And the southern and central get on and they cast out the northern, it means we might develop a land of farmers and not really think further. You know, we might just be thinking about what's happening tomorrow and not what's happening, you know, what's going to happen in the 5 years or 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is. Some of the things that are rife as well, where I come from, is a lot of people tend to hire within their party. So within their political party, I don't want to talk politics, but it's the facts here. People will give jobs without necessarily prioritizing competence, but more loyalty and a social group, right? So it's not just politics. It's also when you're looking for a job, it's who you know more than what you can do for that person, basically. So I hope that sort of gives you a sort of an idea of why I think it's a problem, you know, this tribalism thing, you know, because it influences a lot of decisions that could help other people, you know. Another question for this is, how did we end up like this? Well, this is historical, isn't it? Malayan tribes have been formed a very, very long time ago. And unfortunately, the history in Malawi, well, Malawi has several tribes. I think over 20 tribes or so. But these tribes came in from different countries. Like, so for example, I am of Lomwe tribe, which can be found in places as far as Hawaii, Mozambique, and all these things. So, of course, colonialism played a role, but also migration of tribes played another role. So, for example, the Ngonis, which is my father's side, are descendants of the Zulus, and you can find these tribes in Zambia. And these tribes migrated from southern Africa to across making their way into Malawi and all these things. So how they came about, it was just Malawi was literally like a stopover for a lot of tribes, you know, and some people settled. So DR Congo, when people say, "Oh, we're Bantu culture," things, you know, Bantu culture, the Bantu tribe actually came from the north of Africa, you know, but we, you know, and this is why we have, again, a tangent, but this is why we have similar words in languages and things like that. So unfortunately, Malawi, we speak Chichewa. The Chewa tribe is one of the most prominent tribes, but there are loads of tribes. So what I'm trying to say here is, Malawi being poor already, when a tribe or a party goes in power, most of the times it's actually predominantly a tribe, right? So it's a tribe with a few other factions, if that makes sense. And as long as the president belongs to whatever tribe, you'll find that the road leading to the president's village is going to have tar. You know, by the time that president is done, it's going to have tar. There's so many presidents that have come into Malawi that have built mansions in their villages and whatnot. You know, I'm talking going from huts to mansions. You know, and this happens quite a lot. You know what I mean? So if we're keeping this power in the south, what's happening to the north? Development plans normally happen in the central and southern. Of course, this is my opinion. This is what I see, right? Central and southern region. When you go up north, you still see old buildings that were built probably since independence. You know what I mean? So how did we end up like this? We had a group of tribes come together in one country and form a country. Who declared us a country? Well, colonialism, isn't it? So somebody came and said, look at this piece of land, look at the lake. Okay, what's that lake? Lake Nyasa. Let's call this place Nyasa land, which is now known as Malawi, right? So the problem started there, or let's say the problem. How did we end up like this? We started like this. We started different, you know. Funny that, isn't it? So the next question is, does it matter, right? Does it matter with who's in charge in a country? You know, should it really matter who's in charge, or should we pick the most competent person? What I'm saying here is, when you guys are voting, when you choose a vote and all these things, when you choose who you're going to vote for, I will bet you that the majority of us go, I'm not. So for example, somebody from the south will go, I'm not voting for somebody from the north, or I'm going to go as far as the central region and that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's what a lot of people say. I mean, if I'm wrong, you let me know. You let me know in the comments. But that's how a lot of people think. I'm going to vote for somebody I can relate to, because you belong to a tribe, and you belong to a social group. You know, so normally the votes influence that. But are we voting for the most competent person? You know, I guess history can show that. This conversation is, you know, the inspiration from this conversation came from somebody who's not from Africa actually, but has gone there and looked and said, you know, you've got the colonial policies still in place, but also you want to mix this tribe thing, which just causes division. So it got me thinking, like, you know, do these things affect how we are as people? Maybe living in diaspora is different, because you don't really look at tribe. I just look at whether that person's from Africa or from Malawi. Then you sort of become a social group. But does that help us as a social group? Because maybe you might be going through the same problems, you know. So even here it applies. Like if you're just associating with Africans or Malawians and you all have the same ideas, are you really progressing? You know, economically, you could say you progress because you sort of branch out of that circle. You can just choose. When I'm working, you don't choose that what circle you're in. You just, you know, your priority is, I don't know, be it your qualifications or how much money they're paying you. You don't necessarily go, I'm gonna go and work where all my friends work. But then back home, you know, when you go to school, you notice that you have kids who come from different backgrounds, different places, but have, you know, different opportunities. Yeah, you find that there are kids who their parents can afford everything, you know, but they're not really working out. And then you got the ones that can't afford anything, but are doing well in school, right? You could find that deep down somewhere, especially the ones that are linked to politics in Malawi. People that are linked to politics are normally, you know, well-to-do for a certain amount of time, which means they have good opportunities. And then you find that the people that are not really linked to politics are not really well-to-do, so people that are not in power. So, that's providing an opportunity deep down the line to a tribe, to a group of people, and depriving this other group who maybe did not go to school, or maybe just are not connected to the right person, which means it's keeping a certain group of people, and I mean a small group here, of people rich and another group very poor, and depriving them of these opportunities. So should we really be thinking about, and this is one for you guys, should we really be thinking about who we put in power? You know, do they have the interest of the whole country, or the interest of their own party, or the interest of, you know, the interest of a race as well? I mean, that's another thing. I've got a video, right, of this guy. What's his name? Dr. Umar, the content creator, right? And he said something that he observed in Malawi, or not Malawi, in Africa, right? And I wanted you guys to watch this and see what you think. Just it's more, listen to the context of this, because obviously he's going to talk about it on his perspective and how he sees things. So just listen to what he observed in Africa, and then we can go from there. Here we go.
When I travel, especially Africa, but it's true in the Caribbean also, Black people are more concerned with their tribe being in control than they are with liberation from foreign control. Are you following me? I've seen it. So when the elections is coming up, it's not about freeing us from white supremacy or Chinese imperialism. It's about, are my people going to be the president? Is somebody from my tribe going to be the prime minister? And because they're more concerned about tribal imperialism than African independence, this democratic scheme that they run on Black people continues because we're so petty and so small in our thinking. I just want to make sure his people don't get the presidency. I'm not even looking at the bigger picture. The white man knows this. The Chinese know this. So they come in, exploit, finance both sides. So no matter who wins, when I
found that very interesting, coming from a person who's probably not of African descent, you know, having to see that and know that, you know, what keeps us busy the most is things like this. And I remember last week we spoke about something about you know, relating migration to crime and all these things. Again, it's an us versus them sort of situation. And remember, I gave an example about how we look at refugees and think, oh, refugees are doing this and whatnot, but we're not really looking at the main problem, where we prioritize developing as a country, you know, because when it comes to it, I think, especially in Malawi, when it comes to it, when somebody gets in the money, they're going to look after them and their people, not really their country, you know. At a smaller scale, you'd say, I don't know, that person's probably just going to look after their own interests. So buy a brand new car, get a house, but not really improve themselves as a person or improve the people around them. Do you know what I mean? Just to put this into context, if somebody wins the lottery back home, they're just going to improve their own life and not really look at improving anybody else's life. You know what I mean? So that's what he was saying. You're sort of, we turn a blind eye on things that are really the problem, keeping us there, and focus on these things. So is that focus keeping us poor? You know, is it keeping us poor? So then, now the question is, does being in a tribe affect how you live your life, and how you get by? So think about this, you guys. Being in a tribe, you know, does it affect how you live life, how you think about things, the decisions you make? Do you think, because I'm from here or I'm from this country, then I can only associate with these people, I can only do this, I'm limited to doing these certain things? You know what I mean? Or I can only, I don't know, vote for or finance, or I'm looking at things that we prioritize here. Oh, because I'm from this country, the right thing to do is farming, you know, or the right thing to do is this because so and so is doing it. You know, is that the right thing to do? Are we really utilizing the resources, the resources that we have, the knowledge that we have? Because, you know, in some discussions I've had, you know, like especially during COVID or whatever, especially in African countries, you'd find that one African country writes a COVID policy and then the other one just goes and copies it. It just goes, but you've got, you know, you've got people who can do the same thing for you, but you're looking outside. Of, bad example, but the gist is, are we looking at what we have and going and utilizing it? Basically, that's the question there. Does being part of a society hinder you from thinking outside the box? Really, part of a tribe, part of a society. Are you encouraged to think outside the box? Are we encouraged to work together? I think personally, I think that for certain things, for certain like businesses and all these things, I don't see a problem in that when it comes to tribes in Malawi, right? Where that becomes a problem is when now it becomes Malawian and foreigner or immigrant, right? Because we have these differences. So you hear a lot of these stories of people coming into Malawi and having a success story. Donna's Eggs, run by a Greek family, I believe. All these liquor stores that opened up, they were opened up by people from Burundi. But we looked at that and thought, these lot are coming in and just starting businesses instead of going and actually finding out, how did you do this? Can we collaborate? We spend more time hating on the progress than actually learning from it and actually adopting it or collaborating even. There's another thing as well. There's some other things like policies, right? Policies in Malawi. If you remember Fundo, who came on this podcast to speak about jobs and stuff, as I explained, he owns an energy company called 265 Energy, right? And some of the challenges he went through, as a small business, was he was getting obviously to form a company, to have say things like a certificate to supply energy and all these things, he was being classed as a filling station when he was a small business. You know what I mean? So even that policy itself is like, if you want to make it in Malawi, you have to be big already. That already is a separation. It's a us versus them policy. So then are we sitting there going, are these policies actually working for us? Because is it just going to be the rich that benefit, or the guys that have well-to-do families, or the guys that are linked to politics, or the guys that belong to a certain tribe and all these things? Do we really have the right policies in place to help people grow? Or do we have things that are just stopping people from progressing? And looking at that, it does affect, how we live. So some of the things that we have adopted in where we come from, the policies that are there, are based on developed countries, because we want to be a part of that. As a country, we want to look like we're a part of this. A good example is this whole social media life thing. If you look on social media about Malawi or somebody from Malawi, they're showing you the good life. But if you go to Malawi, that's when you see the real life. I know this happens in America, right? But I say this because in Malawi, we want to try and be a bit more Western than we are. This is my opinion. Than we are. Sort of not really realistic with who we are, if that makes sense. Selling the dream. Instead of actually looking at how we can develop, should we be playing catch up or looking at how we can develop? I don't know. This is why I brought this topic to you guys. Are we jumping on things too quickly, thinking we're going to get rich quick or get, have a better life and things like that? I've got another video for you, actually. Right. This one is sort of a mini debate between Nigerians about who started the Nigerian film industry, but just to show you that these things are what affect how we think every day, because we sit there and think,
walking around Nigeria,
we sit there and think, I'm going to compete with the next tribe, when really we should be working together to be better. So listen to this.
Today, I mean, I can't distinguish between I mean, I can't distinguish around Nigeria today. I mean, I can't distinguish between an Igbo, a Yoruba, a Hausa. So how does it manifest in contemporary Nigerian life?
The other day I was online and then someone, said that the Yoruba, the Yoruba tribe, like formed or made, Nollywood, which is the third biggest movie industry in the world. People were saying, "Oh no, this one was struggling. It's the Igbos," and this person said, "No, it's the Hausas." Right now on social media, you can see people insulting themselves, people throwing jabs at each other. When, like, given that you're Hausa, you're Yoruba, you're Igbo, it should not be a problem at all.
Okay. Just looking at that video, right? From the outside looking in, I'm not Nigerian. From the outside looking in, I don't really care what tribe started the Nollywood industry. I admire what they did, but then within, they're still, trying to compete with each other by saying we did this, we did that. But you could focus that energy on doing something else. You know what I mean? Or, can you fulfill, more potential by sort of spreading it out a little bit? Who cares who created it? It's a Nigerian thing, but even in Nigeria, they don't think that, is it? They're still thinking about which tribe started it, which tribe is the best, who's that helping, basically. Another example I have is music, because obviously I do music. So this on music side, I believe if you guys watched the last stream that we did on the Audacity Challenge, there's a guy who did a song and said, stop gatekeeping music, or stop gatekeeping, stop giving opportunities to artists. Because when we did that, we're not a big media company. We just thought we're going to give rappers a platform, or up and coming rappers a platform, and it was open to anybody, right? And one of the guys had a point to make, to say, look, stop gatekeeping the music industry, right? Give an opportunity to the up and coming artists. Give an opportunity, because you never know, but also it was also more around exploiting artists and stuff like that. Miss Mona Lisa says, I love this topic. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Miss Mona Lisa. Irish Queen of Cream says, happy Friday. What's going on? I need to pay attention to the IG live as well. Yeah, so in the music industry, right? Me being in the music industry, if I didn't, back then, you had to bribe a DJ to get your music played, because you being a good artist was not enough, So you'd find a lot of artists that are not that good, but can afford to bribe DJs getting played all the time. They ended up getting famous and all these things. Back then, it's not that big. You get a show, you get a little bit of money, you're happy. But the Malawian industry has developed now. Whereas if you have airplay, right, you're making money. So, but you'll find that there's a select group that want to just keep that to a certain table. It's a certain group. Even for me as an artist, it's difficult to collaborate with people in Malawi because I'm here. But I can also level with the up and coming artists who can't afford to bribe a DJ, or can't afford to, I guess, pay for studio time or whatever it is, but is not getting a fair opportunity simply because they can't afford to bribe a DJ. So it becomes, again, an us versus them. What's going to suffer at this point in time? The Malawian music industry, because we might not unearth the next Malawian Rima, for example. And then that person now has to quit what they believe was their passion to go and do something else, or go and do farming, which is what people believe is the way out. Is that not keeping that person poor? So yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about, but I think you got to think of it that way. And we got to open our eyes a little bit, and stop being stop being short term, stop this short-termism, this favoritism, that's my opinion. But yeah, if people think, oh no, it's fine, the way things are, it's fine. I mean, I want to hear it. Let me know what you guys think. Question: how do we fix it? How can we change this? How can this be changed? Do you recognize that it's a problem, like I do? Do you recognize it's a problem? Maybe let me put this in a poll, because I could be out here talking shit. Do you guys recognize it's a problem? Hold on. Yeah, let me do this poll right quick. You think tribalism is a problem? So there's the poll. How can we change this? I think with what Obama said, look at what somebody can do. You know, don't look at what group they belong to, or whether they're a good lad or not. You know, funny enough, somebody was telling me that there was a documentary that was done in the UK where they used somebody with a surname, say an African surname, yeah, and used somebody with the British surname, right? Applied for the same jobs. These guys were qualified to the same level, applied for the same jobs. Guess who got asked to come to an interview? The person with the British names. This was apparently in a documentary. I need to confirm this, but this is what I wanted to bring this here. Again, that's a sense of, oh, I recognize this name. That person's probably going to be a good lad. They haven't even met that person. I'd rather hire that person because I think they're going to be a good lad. But this person with this other surname might be a little bit of trouble. Maybe might be antisocial. You know how these people are. And you know what's going on in the news right now. You know, the minute there's a problem attributed to a person or whatever it is, because it's always a us versus them sort of thing. So how do we change that? I think it needs to start at education. Yeah. We need to talk about it more as people are going through school, you know. Like I said, there's a poll in there. We need to talk about it more as people are going through school, you know. Versi in the building. What's up, Versi? People need to, you know, we need to sort of, yes, recognize that we have differences, but also let those differences bring us together. For example, if I go to a school that has, I don't know, people that are good at athletics, I know people that are good at athletics, some people are good at finance, some people are good at this, some people are good at this. Instead of creating this, you're the best students, you're the average students, you're the what, and you're this is where you're going to end up in life. It's what can we take from here to help this group? What can we take from this group to help that group? Because everybody needs somebody, you know. So this is even with, you know, with the examples I was giving in Malawi, you know, you got a bunch of farmers who can't even afford fertilizer in Malawi, right? Who can afford something to eat. So it means that they're just thinking, I'm going to farm to survive. But if you give these farmers the opportunity to farm for the country, right, all of a sudden you have produce. And this has happened before. You know, I'm not just talking out of my ass. This has happened before where we've had surplus maize in Malawi before because people were fed. People had food. And now they were thinking about what's going to happen years from now and what this. But then if you're keeping people in the same position where it's a cycle of, I have just enough food to get by today, tomorrow, they're not going to be thinking about 5 years from now. It's just going to be this cycle. So if we're keeping people in these type of positions and not really, I'm not going to say equality. This is not what it is. It's more equity, like Sam said when she came on, looking at what people's weaknesses are or strengths and using them or improving them, you know, to become better. I think that's what we would need to do. But what can you and I do? We need to change how we think. You know, we need to stop when you think I want to do this, but I can't do it with this person because I think they're like this, or they behave like this, or their views are like this. Ask them, you know, like literally sometimes just have a conversation with somebody. What do you think of this? What do you think of doing this? What are your ideas on this? I think we just need to learn from each other a bit more. And also we need to be a bit more adventurous. It doesn't mean that I'm saying stick with your groups. Hell no. Learn. You know, learn what are other people doing about the situation you're in. You know, don't be too stubborn in your own ways. That's probably advice for myself too. Learn what other people are doing, collaborate, share. You know, this will stop this stigma. But I think with the kids that are growing up, I'm proud to be Lomwe, but I love all the other tribes because they make what is Malawi. I'm proud to be Malawian, but I love all the other African countries because, you know, they make what it is African. I'm proud to be African. So I think, but even by saying what I said, if I now start drilling down to the simple things, like who would I get married to, I can tell you right now that, oh, I can't marry this African country. I can't marry that African country, because we should really stop thinking that way. You know, yeah, okay, who's the most suitable person for you? Okay, I weighed it out. You know, culture, I don't know, vision, ambition, geographical placement of countries, whatever it is, you know, upbringing and all these things. Have you considered those things, or are you just going to look at something at face value and go, we're different? But yeah, this is what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, guys, quick one. Do you think tribalism is a problem? Do you think it's a problem? Do you think it's keeping us poor? Do you think it is keeping us distracted? I want to know what you guys think in the comments. All right. And next time, join me in this conversation, because you're talking to yourselves kind of, yeah. But what do you guys think? See what I mean? What do you guys think? I didn't even use my soundboard. So yeah, tribalism. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Guys who are watching on Instagram, let me know how you found this. Let me know how you found this. Chichewa word of the week. Chichewa word of the week. What's Chichewa word? What's the Chichewa word for tribe? Malawian people. What's the Chichewa word for tribe? Before I Chichewa word for tribe. Tribe. Fuko. There we go. Chichewa word of the week is Fuko, aka tribe. Word of the week. Fuko. Okay. Tribe. I'll leave the vote the poll up for a little bit longer, guys. Come on. Like the video, of course. Like the video. Please like the video. If you're a pandy, come on, like the video. You know what to do. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, it is summer, so a lot of the guys are obviously busy, family commitments and all these things. But honestly, when I have time, I will come on. You know, like I said, the show must go on, so I will come on. Obviously, we can't do some things like 5 shots and chill because you need a little bit more people. But trust me, I'll do a bit more content. We'll keep the show rolling. Let me know if you want to talk about something, or if there's a song you want me to review. Yeah, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's what I'll say. Guys, thank you very much for coming on. It's One Tally, Friday night. Enjoy yourselves. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't do anything Drew would do either, because you know.
Lord Jesus.
But yeah, thank you for coming through, guys. I think tribalism is keeping us poor. If we abolished it, well, not abolish it because it's part of tradition and culture, but if we sort of look beyond that, I think we can grow as a people, as a culture, as a country, basically, as a continent even. Because look at the African Union. Where's that at? They've been talking about that for time. What's the problem there? So yeah, guys, have a good Friday. Take it easy. Peace.